What's going on? It's Trending Story. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more well informed, make sure to subscribe and active the notifications bell so you don't miss anything.
The hunter was about to shoot the wolf, then he did something that made him cry. A touching story about how the wolf took revenge on poachers makes him more human than people. Stepan was always wandering through the woods, and he knows every corner there is. The man lives with his wife and only son in a small, isolated village near a very large forest where you can count the few families that live in that village. One day, while Stepan was sitting in his house with his son Michael and wife Lupier, he heard bullets coming from the forest. Then the man was astonished and took a look out the window, but he didn't see anything. Then the man heard a second and third shot, which made him sure that there were hunters in the forest. Although hunting during that period of the year was forbidden, and the hunters might be imprisoned if they found by the forest guards while they were hunting animals. The sound of bullets kept repeating, which made Stepan feel nervous as he carried his weapon and asked his son and wife not to leave the house. And he went out to the forest to find out what was happening. When the man penetrated into the woods, he heard people laughing. But when he went to follow them, he found that they had left. He tried to catch up with them, but he was unable to. Then he kept wandering in the woods and looking there, perhaps to find an injured animal. The man found a dead little wolf's pup, which made him very sad. And then he continued walking. He heard the sound of an object approaching him. Then he took out his rifle and prepared to fire. But suddenly a small wolf came out in front of him and began preparing to attack him, thinking that he was one of these hunters. Stepan tried to stay calm and did not approach the little wolf. Apparently, the hunters caught the wolf, the mother of this little one, and took her with them. But they were unable to catch the little animal because it managed to escape. The man tried to gain the confidence of the raging little wolf, but kept approaching him calmly and tried to touch him. But the little wolf ran away from him. The man caught up with the animal and grabbed it and kept caressing it, wiping its head and calming it until he finally managed to tame it. Then he decided to take it to the house to help him because he noticed that the little wolf had just lost its mother and it would not be able to withstand alone in the forest, especially since the snow began to fall and the temperatures were under zero at that time of year. The little wolf was shivering and moaning, perhaps grieving the loss of his mother, which greatly affected Stepan, who remembered these illegal poachers who had stripped their humanity and kidnapped the little wolf's mother and left him alone. When the man arrived at the house, he found his wife Lobia and his son anxiously waiting for him. Putting the little wolf on the table in the kitchen, he told his wife that he had found him alone in the woods and that he would take care of him for days and then return him to the forest, which was accepted by the wife with joy and pleasure. For his part, little Michael was very happy when he saw the little wolf as he approached him immediately and began to talk to him and gently touch him in his hair. The couple noticed that the little wolf was exhausted and hungry as the wife brought a little milk in a small dish and placed it in front of the animal, where he drank it immediately, sticking his tongue out as if he wanted more. Then little Michael went to the kitchen and brought it more milk. Lobia tried to give a piece of meat to the little wolf, but he refused. Then he realized that he was still too young to eat meat and that the milk he drank was enough for him. Everyone went to sleep, and in the early morning, the mother came to wake her little one up to go to school. But she did not find him in bed. But she heard him speaking. And when she went to the kitchen, she found him there, sitting next to the wolf and hugging him and talking to him as if he was his friend. The mother noticed that Michael quickly adapted to the little wolf, and the animal felt reassured with this little one. The evidence was that he refused to approach her, but he slept with the boy while he was calm and reassuring. The child asked his mother if they could keep the little wolf in their home, which surprised the mother, who was not expecting this request from her little one, as she decided to discuss it with her husband and decide if they could. She realizes that the animal will grow up and become ferocious, and it is not possible for them to keep it in their home because it is dangerous for the little one and all the neighbors. After Labia talks to her husband, they agree to keep the wolf and release him when they notice that he is old. But they took from him a promise to take care of him and improve him, which was what the little boy agreed upon, and he was very pleased. Michael took good care of the little animal, feeding it, playing with it, and taking it to wander outside. With the passage of days, the little wolf got used to living in his new family as he interacted with all family members and played with them. But his closest friend was definitely little Michael. Stepan was thinking about the fate of many small animals that lost their mothers when they were newborn. So he went and filed a complaint with the forest guards, and he went daily to the woods to wander there and try to arrest these illegal poachers who shoot wild animals indiscriminately. Time passed, and the wolf, which he called his Oaken, began to grow up, and its tusks appeared, and he began to ask for more food. He eats the equivalent of 5 kilograms of meat a day, which made the couple think of a way to convince their son that it was time for the wolf to return to the forest, because they cannot provide him with that amount of meat, which will make him dissatisfied, and he could attack any creature he finds in his way, including Michael. The wolf went with Misha to the forest and stayed with them there the whole time. The child caught fish from the river, as he was like his protector, and it was certain that his reaction will be violent if someone approaches him and tries to harm him. With the passage of days, the wolf became abstaining from eating. So Stepan brought up to the vet to his home to be examined. When the vet examined him, he told him that the wolf was in good condition, but he was sad because he wanted to return to the forest in order to continue his life there. The decision to abandon the wolf was a mockery for everyone, but they finally agreed to release him as they escorted him to the entrance of the jungle, bidding farewell and returned him with tears. Michael was one of the most affected by the departure of the wolf, who was considered his best friend. But with the passage of days, he became convinced that the animal has its own life and that he loves to live in his world freely. 2 days later, the wolf returned to Stepan, apparently because he missed the family members and stayed with them at home. The next day, Stepan heard news saying that a wolf had attacked hunters in the forest and preyed on them and killed them. Then Stepan realized immediately that the wolf was Oaken because he noticed blood drops on his body upon his return from the forest. But he quickly removed them so that his son and wife would not notice them. The wolf apparently left the woods to take refuge from the hunters, who kidnapped its mother several months ago and left him alone. The wolf Oaken became a member of the family, as once Stepan and Michael to the forest and guarded them as he protected the whole house. No attacks on wild animals have been recorded in that forest since the wolf began to prey on these hunters. The animal was able to help the rest of the animals that live in the wild after they suffered from the oppression of these illegal poachers. Thank you for watching. Please like and share the video at social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.